government is to remove poverty. Sonia Gandhi is saying today that the biggest aim of her government is to remove poverty. But when will they remove poverty is our question. I will tell you why they won't remove poverty. Because until there is poverty in this country, until there is illiteracy in this country, Congress party will grow. I always keep wondering, my friends, because I have never met somebody who is really educated and who supports the Congress party. But again, I don't understand why is it that I have never come across in my everyday interaction one educated person who supports the Congress party, yet repeatedly Congress party comes to power. Then I realized, you have poverty, Congress party will perpetuate. You have illiteracy, Congress party will perpetuate. You have unemployment, Congress party will perpetuate. Narendra Modi understood this. Congress party wanted to make equality in poverty. Narendra Modi said, I will make equality in prosperity. That is why I tell you why young people like Narendra Modi. Because Narendra Modi understands that the young of India today want policies of empowerment. Not policies of doles, not policies of subsidies. We want a new economic model, a new, fresh, innovative thinking to approaches and problems, and that is why Narendra Modi stands apart as the one leader who is not necessary for India, but is inevitable for India in 2014. Friends, a few things about Gujarat will definitely enlighten us as to why Narendra Modi is so special for all of us. Because outside this room, people are not going to believe in mere rhetoric and polemic. What people ask for is hard facts. We need to go and tell them that in the last decade or so, Gujarat has tremendously progressed in all sectors of development. When there are other governments in the country, more so I am saddened by the very fact that the new Congress government in my state is thinking of issuing new bar licenses instead of licenses to open new colleges and schools. Narendra Modi's Gujarat stands as an exception. Narendra Modi understood that what this country needs is not only islands of higher educational excellence, but also large-scale institutions which will help in skill development of people. ನಾನು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಿಕೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಯುವಕರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ತಿಳಿಯುವಂಥದ್ದು ತುಂಬ ಗಾಬರಿ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು ವಿಚಾರ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಆಡಿಟೋರಿಯಂನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಕಾಡುವಂಥ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಇನ್ನು 10 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಗೆ where do we get employment? Where do we get food? Where do we get resources? Higher education ಅನ್ನು IIMs ಅಲ್ಲಿ IITs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗೋದು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಈಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗಳನ್ನ IIM IITಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೊರಟಿದೆ. This is not a holistic approach to the education problem. Narendra Modi understood this. Narendra Modi ಗುಜರಾತ್ನಲ್ಲಿ IIT ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ರು, ITI ಕೂಡ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ರು. ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ಇರೋರಿಗೆ IIT ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ IIT ಒಂದು ಕನಸನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟರು. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ ತನ್ನ ಕಾಲ ಮೇಲೆ ತಾನು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತವರಿಗೆ ITIಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. On one hand you had higher educational excellence, on the other hand you also had ITIs. So Narendra Modi understands what the people need. And isn't it incumbent on the people in a democracy to elect a leader who does what they want instead of a leader who does what he wants. That is the duty that you and I have of going and convincing people. 2014 ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ. ಫುಡ್ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡಿ ಬಿಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಆಗಸ್ಟ್ 20ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ರಾಜೀವ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರ ದಿವಸದಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ರೋಲ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನನಗೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸತಿ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಎಂಥ ಬೌದ್ಧಿಕ ದಾರಿದ್ರ್ಯ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ರಾಜೀವ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಈ ಒಂದು 2-3 ಜನ ದಿವಸಗಳು ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಹೆಸರು ಸಿಗ್ತಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬರೋದಿಕ್ಕೆ. So on 20th August, the food security bill will be rolled out. ನನಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾವು ತಿಳಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ if a man gives you a fish for a day, he quenches your hunger for a day. But if somebody teaches you how to fish, they will feed you for life. ಈ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ನಾವು ಕಳಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. This is the challenge before you and I as political activists, because politics is about convincing people. It is about telling people and reposing the faith in what you claim can deliver a better model of governance. Snehitare, Narendra Modi also represents another idea. The idea that from the past 65 years has crippled the cultural independence and intellectual independence of India. An idea that he is against, because this idea ensured that you and I cannot stand up and say with pride that we belong to a civilization which is 5,000 years old. An idea which said that if you claim your ancestral heritage to anything that was originated in India, you will be branded as communal. An idea which gained sheer force because of the support of the governmental institutions. Narendra Modi is challenging this idea of pseudo-secularism, the idea of using secularism as a shield for opportunistic politics. Friends, I was discussing with one of my friends from the US about how voting actually happens in their, the House of Commons, the Senate and everything. She was telling me that in case a particular party is in favor of a particular policy, they have no qualms about accepting it and going out and voting for that particular policy. I said, look at my country. There is a political party which does not like a particular policy. So you will naturally expect that when the voting comes in the house, that this political party will go and vote against that policy. But here in my country, the exact opposite happens. The party says, no, we are against FDI. But the FDI bill is tabled in parliament. Mayawati and her gang go into parliament and vote for it. And some of the media people ask Mayawati as to, Behenji, you said you are against FDI, but why did your party vote for it?
CPI. Yes, yes. CPI.
Many parties. Then Behenji replies, to keep communal forces at bay. No political analyst, no apologist can ever understand this link between opposing the voting for the FDI, which they initially opposed, and voting for it because of keeping communal politics at bay. The marvel, the eighth wonder of Indian politics is this. Narendra Modi is posing a serious challenge to these people, because Narendra Modi's ascendance in Indian national political scenario, in national political landscape, at the same time will ensure that these Mayawatis, Mulayams and Lalu Prasads of Indian politics will go far away from the Indian politics. it that we need one man like Narendra Modi to be the top person in this country, to be the Prime Minister in this country? I was just thinking of this. When I was studying in my pre-university college, I had a very efficient and capable principal who was heading the institution. Starting from the principal, the head of the departments, the dean, to the peons in the college, to the students, each one of us behaved exemplarily in the first year of college. Whether I liked it or not, I had to attend college. Attendance was very strict. The second year of college, the principal was changed. The head of the institution was changed. The head of the departments went loose. The peons never did their work properly. Students never attended classes properly. Why? The head of an organization, the head of an institution is what matters. Like one principal can change the functioning of a school or college, like how one Vinod Rai could bring Sheen to the lost Sheen to CAG back, like how Justice S.H. Kapadia could make the entire structure of our court, starting from the Supreme Court to the lowest of the courts, work in harmony and deliver speedy justice. Like how one APJ Abdul Kalam could bring respect to the institution of the President of India. Narendra Modi as Prime Minister can bring back pride not only for the Prime Minister's post, but for the pride of India back. That is why Narendra Modi. Friends, the other very important issue that I want to talk to you. Narendra Modi, what I have heard from people who were closely associated with him. I was also fortunate to accompany Lal Krishna Advani ji on his Jan Chetna Yatra for 40 days. And I'll tell you that that leg of the Yatra which went in Gujarat was something unique and different than what happened anywhere else in the country. Starting from the Swagat, where rose petals were strewn by helicopters and Swagat, welcomed the Jan Chetna Yatra, to every program that happened in clock procession, Narendra Modi's stamp of efficiency could be seen everywhere. When I spoke to somebody who had worked with Narendra Modi's team, they said, Narendra Modi represents and respects merit. He respects talent. The moment he sees that this man has a specific talent or a skill, Narendra Modi makes the best use of it. I just thought, like how Narendra Modi respects merit, the Congress party can never represent and respect merit. For the only reason that meritocracy and dynasty cannot go hand in hand. To any young person in this country and they tell you what the country needs to respect today is respect merit. But when you have at the very top somebody who does not respect merit, how can you expect the country, how can you expect every institution in the country to respect merit? Friends, I was just thinking, this Godhra issue and this Modi baiting is going forever. What could possibly Narendra Modi do? I stay in an area called Girinagar in Bangalore. And Girinagar has roughly a population of about, the Girinagar ward has a voter population of about 30 to 40,000. Voter turnout naturally is about 25,000. And the Girinagar police station has a strength of about 15 people, including the station house officer. If tomorrow, for any reason, the entire Girinagar population erupts into violence, what can the local MLA do? Other than asking for troops reinforcement from other constituencies, other police establishments? Narendra Modi did everything that he could. Let us go out and tell people. On the 27th of August, on the 27th of February in the morning, the Godhra train carnage took place. On the very same day, curfew was imposed. The police were deployed in all possible areas of violence. Immediately, letters were faxed to the NDA government asking for assistance for army. All of them were deployed. Curfew was taken place. Orders were issued. Modi kept coming on TV. Modi kept giving press releases, asking and pleading with people for peace. The only thing Narendra Modi didn't do that day was to take an AK-47 himself and go on the street and fight. Apart from that, he took every other measure that was possible as an able administrator to ensure that the riots would not take place. Let me tell all of you a very interesting fact that not many of us know because the media has cleverly kept it silent. On the 28th of February, Narendra Modi writes letters to neighboring states. He wrote a letter to the Chief Minister of the government of Madhya Pradesh, the government of Rajasthan and the government of Maharashtra, asking for additional police forces. That was on the 28th of February, just a day after the riots took place. The Madhya Pradesh government, headed by the greatest secularist of modern India, Tejasvi Surya. Friends, the Madhya Pradesh government takes 13 days to open a letter and send a reply saying, sorry, we cannot give you additional enforcements. Today, you and I have to change the narrative. And this change in narrative has to take place on Twitter, Facebook, mainstream media, every single house. That the man who was responsible for Godhra riots was not Narendra Modi. It was not BJP. It was Tejasvi Surya and the Congress party. This is the narrative that we should. Unless this change in narrative happens, unless we go about convincing people who are not in our fold, it is extremely difficult for all of us to dream of a strong India with Narendra Modi as its Prime Minister. Friends, the media is writing every single day that Narendra Modi hates Muslims and Muslims hate Narendra Modi. Perhaps if there is any media establishment in the world which writes something which is completely contrary to the truth and still manages to get read, still manages to survive, that kind of mainstream media is possible only in India. Because I was talking to my friends, practicing Muslims, who go to namaz every day, whom I myself have dropped to namaz on Fridays. In the course of the conversation when we were speaking, he told me that as a young Muslim, he felt very bad and very sad that the media, the politicians and everybody generalizes the Indian Muslim mentality, saying that no, for Muslims, divisive politics is more important than economic prosperity and development of the country. He said it is a shame that this media is imposing upon the Muslims of this country. In the last general elections in 2012, 31% of Muslims voted for the BJP in Gujarat. Who said Muslims are not voting for BJP? We have to go out and convince our Muslim friends that the only decade in the history of Gujarat where there was no communal riots was only this decade of Narendra Modi. And all those previous years under the Congress government, every single year, periodically you had communal riots. We need to show them and speak to them with facts. We need to tell them, compare the GDP, compare the per capita income of Muslims in Gujarat and Muslims elsewhere. We need to go into the Muslim mohallas, we need to go and talk to them and tell them that you have a choice before you. This is a leader who is poised to take this country forward, who will provide your kids with education, quality education. We need to go out and tell them that here is a leader who will provide your children gainful employment. We will have to tell them before you rests a choice. Either you choose to vote for this leader today who will give you employment, education and food and everything else that you need, and that which you have been deprived of in the 65 years of Congress rule, or leave it to